Thank you, Muhammad, for your speech about social networking. And our next contestant is Fahad Masoud Al-Rahman.
My name is Fahad Masoud Al-Rahman, and I am representing Syria Independent School in grade 10. My topic is impact of social media on our society. We are all aware that social media has a great effect on our culture, business, and on the world. It's hard to imagine that 15 years ago there was no Facebook or Twitter. Now, what are the impacts, both positive and negative, that social media has on our society? First of all, positive impacts of social media. Impact of politics. Nowadays, all politicians are using social media, and this is because it has played an important role in many elections in the world. They are making people to rally and inspire mass movements. And another impact on businesses. Companies are using social media to increase customers by advertising their products, recruiting employees, and many other functions. And impact on socialization. There is an opportunity for people to connect with their friends and acquaintances. They can learn about different cultures and societies by connecting with people in other countries. On the other hand, there are negative effects of social media. For every positive, there is a negative as well. Unfortunately, there are few negatives that I will be presenting. Cyberbullying and online harassment. If you are not careful, people can attack you for cyberbullying and online harassment on social sites. School children, young girls, and women can be online attacked, which can cause tension and stress. Impact on productivity. Many companies have blocked social websites on their offices because employees are distracted from work. Studies show that British companies have lost billions of dollars in productivity because of social media addiction among employees. And impact on policy. If you are not careful, what you post on the net can come back to harm you. And sharing personal information on the net can make you vulnerable to attacks and identity theft, etc. And finally, social media has advantages and disadvantages, as I said in the points. Everyone should use social media wisely to improve their social life. And that's all from me for now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Fahad, for discussing social media in your speech. And our seventh contestant of the day is Hussam Ayat Al-Qadri.
Dear audience, thank you very much for sitting here and listening to my ranting about video games. I'll be talking about video games today, or about why should we ban violent video games, or should we? Do I believe that we should ban video games? No. Do I think video games cause violence in people? No. Now before you shoo me off the stage, allow me to explain myself. Alright? Now, I am an avid gamer. I've been gaming since the age of 4 and now I'm 17. My name is Hussam Al-Kadi. I am from Umar bin Abdulaziz High School and I am a gamer. This language that I'm speaking to you all in is a language that I've gained through gaming. Yes, dear gentlemen, I've learned the English language by playing video games, believe it or not. It is possible. By experiencing things, by using things, you learn better. One sentence I want you all to carve onto your mind like a curvature on stone. Experience is the mother of knowledge. In order for someone to learn something, one must experience it. And video games are a viable platform of experiencing and learning things. Would you believe me if I told you that the effect video games have on gamers as far as violence goes is as dangerous as water is on the human body? This liquid in this bottle, if I were to drink it in excessive amounts, it could cause something called water intoxication, and I would frankly die. Any healthy body would die with water intoxication. So if water, this primal essence of life, this liquid that we cannot live without, can be so detrimental to us and can be so unhealthy to the point that it would kill us, how can we for sure ban something like video games on the essential or on the understanding that because the games are violent, therefore it would cause violence in people? I think that's lots of gibberish. You see, there's something called the age gap. Basically, people 50 years ago will not understand things that happen this day as we will not understand certain social things that have happened 50 years ago. Like your mother would come to you and she would tell you, how can you listen to that kind of music? The same, you would tell her, how could you listen to that boring classic music? You see, that's what I mean by the age gap. Different understandings, different times. Games have been a crucial part of history. In fact, thousands and thousands of years ago, there were our ancestors who used to use games as a social interaction tool. They used they didn't use video games, but they used games as a tool to communicate, to learn, and to know better about other cultures and other groups of humans. Yes, dear audience, they did play games before. And games have been a part of our culture and, well, human history for quite a long time. Now, what does the water have to do with video games? What does this liquid in this bottle have to do with video games? Like everything in this world, with this philosophy, I may convince you that everything in this world is in fact a double-edged sword. This pencil here, I may use it to write something down, write a note down, educate someone, learn something. I may use it to memorize something. I may use it to lend it to someone for them to write down something. But a killer may use this pencil to kill someone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I could actually take this pencil and stab it through somebody's neck and kill him with it. What do I mean by this example? Well, a double-edged sword is just that, a sword with two edges. The sword affects the wielder or the person that is in front of the wielder, depending on the intention of the wielder himself. If the wielder wields the double-edged sword in a way that it would benefit human days or human life, then it would be a beneficial thing. But if we were to use a double-edged sword to harm people, then obviously we're going to harm people, and obviously we should ban that. Or should we? Video games, dear audience, like I said, is a crucial part of our human evolution because games have been a crucial part of our human evolution. It allows us to learn about things in a different way. Experience is the mother of knowledge, and if we are able to learn through a platform like video games, then why should we ban it? Banning video games is a silly thing because of violence, you say. Well, everything in this world can be used in a violent way. I can bring any of you here and shove liters and liters of water into their mouth and kill them with water. Should we ban water? yes, we should ban water, some people in the back say. But I disagree with them, really. How about we think about it in a different way? Instead of banning something because there's a certain thing in that thing that we do not like about it, why not we use it properly and correctly? Dear audience, I've been to the United States and I've done a whole research on this. I've participated in Intellica, a research competition in America, where I represented Qatar. I talked about video games and the effects of video games on people. I've actually developed my own game to educate people and to teach people the English language. Dare I say, the effects of these video games have been amazing. If we were to use things in the way that we want to use them, then we can control them in a way that they would be very beneficial. Like a car can hit a person, a car can also take a person from point A to point B. Now let me go through some boring statistics that I really don't find interesting, but anyways. Researchers at the California Institute of Science have proven that games have played a crucial part in human evolution, like I said a while ago. Japan's Technological Advancement Ministry have recently researched thoroughly the suicide rates that happen in Japan. Some people, even in this audience, have said that this happened because of, video games. Well, I believe that that is incorrect. You see, the ministry itself has proven that the reason why these people have actually killed themselves was because of mental issues or family issues. And people are so bound to take video games and just slap it on the headline, say, video games caused this, but they did not. The reason why a person killed another person or the person killed himself is because of the mental issues they have in their mind, not because of what they're playing. Video games, in fact, have a massive positive effect on people. Like I said, the language I'm using today is a language that I've learned through communicating with people in Brazil, in the United States, in Japan, in Korea, and wherever else in the world. Video games have changed my life immensely. If I were not able to speak this language properly, I would have not been able to travel all around the world, be able to communicate with people freely, and understand about cultures that I've never been able to learn. What are we but people that are looking for education and people looking to learn and improve ourselves and evolve? Why are we trying to ban things that may allow us to become better, that may allow us to become more advanced? We humans, the difference between us and the animals that roam us are the animals do not have the ambition to make themselves become better than what they are today. Therefore, dear audience, allow me to tell you this one last time. Violent video games should not be banned. Video games should not be banned. Nothing should be banned. This all goes back to the point of us as humans. What do we use these things for? And I may discuss this for hours and hours on end, but I've got a minute left, so let me just go to the last point. Judges, students, teachers. Allow me as a person from the 2016 age to say one thing. That son of yours in the room who plays video games all day may actually benefit from the video games. Of course, everything in the world has to be put into a limit. You can't play 15 hours a day and expect to be Einstein. Of course, you have to learn. So, in the end, experience is the mother of knowledge. It's a sentence that I've been using for 7 years in all of my speeches. Why not allow us to experience things through games? Experience things that we have never been able to experience. Education, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hissam, for your amazing speech. You really raised up the boards of this contest. Next, we have Fahad Majid al-Malhi.
Hello, good morning. My name is and I'm from the الوكرة Secondary School of Boys, and I'm in grade 12. Have you ever thought about the negatives of violent video games? Now my topic today is going to be about, should violent video games be banned? Now before I talk about violent video games, let me talk about video games in general first. Video games have major negative effects. I know they can be fun. I'm a gamer myself. I play games a lot. But I know that they are bad for me. Video games can get addictive. Now, the negatives are video games can hurt your eyesight. Video games can damage your brain. Video games can have a negative impact on your social life, and they can even worsen your grades. Now, video games in the past used to be so harmless and simple. Nowadays, video games have evolved. Most video games today are extremely violent. Now you can see fighting games and shooting games everywhere in the market. Game developers intentionally make their video games more violent because they think they have the idea that if the video game gets more violent, the more popular it gets. Let me talk about today's society for a second. Today's society, as we all know, is extremely busy. Everyone is working, and parents don't have much time to pay pay attention to their kids. They ignore their kids. Now, what happens when a kid feels lonely? What happens when a kid needs to entertain himself, and the parent notices that? The parent goes and buys his kid a video game, not knowing how much violence does this video game contain. Now the kid gets this game, and as we all know, and it is a true fact that kids learn by repetition. So what happens when a kid gets this violent video game, and he plays it for hours and hours every single day of his life? The kid gets desensitized to violence. Violence gets portrayed as a game to the kid. He thinks that violence is just a game because it is portrayed as a game to the kid because of the violent video game that he is playing every day of his life. It is so easy to change a kid's mind because kids have an undeveloped mind. They're still developing, they're still growing up. Violent video games can influence a kid's mind so bad that the kids get completely desensitized to violence. Now, let me give you some examples of how violent video games affected me. Let me talk about an 8-year-old who shot a person in the United States called Mary Smothers. Mary Smothers is the person's own grandmother. It's his own grandmother, people. He grabbed the gun and he shot her after he played a game called GTA. So, why did the kid do that? He thought that if he shot his grandmother is just going to come back to life. Nothing's going to happen because in this video game, he shot people, he killed them, and they came back to life. They respawned. Now, the kid didn't know that when you shoot someone in real life, when you hurt someone, when you actually kill them, they're not going to come back. It's the harsh truth. They're dead. Now the kid is going to spend a big part of his life behind bars. Why? Because he simply didn't know the difference between real life and a video game. Another example is my own self. Now, I'm not proud of this, but in primary school, I used to be extremely addicted to this wrestling game. I used to play it hours and hours every single day of my life. As soon as I came back from school, until I went to bed, I played it for long hours. Now, I got so much addicted to this game, I got so much attached to it, that when I went to school, Now, I regret this deeply, but I used to be a bully. I beat up other kids. I actually hit them because of this violent video game that I was playing. I'm not proud of this, and I'm extremely sorry for this, but I even almost broke my friend's neck once. Because of what? A wrestling game. I was just a kid. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of video games that are being sold and played today in Qatar. You probably heard me mention the name GTA. It's an extremely violent game. It's one of the, if not the most popular video game in the whole world. Now, this video game, what you get to do in this video game is you get to play as a thug who shoots people, steals banks, steals cars, blow up all sorts of buildings, and even do drugs. Keep in mind, kids are playing this game. And GTA doesn't just contain violence. It contains profanity, it contains sexual content, it contains drugs, and kids are playing this game. Another example is Mortal Kombat. Now everyone I know, especially in the audience over here, plays Mortal Kombat. It's the most violent game I've ever saw. It's filled with gore. It's a fighting game where you get to do things like gouge out your opponent's eye, put him on a stick, and eat him like a shish kebab. You can actually do that. You get to do things like take your opponent to the fiery depths of hell and burn them there, or even pull out his own spine and beat him with it. It's pretty messed up if you ask me. These video games that I've mentioned are being sold in Qatar. You can go to any gaming shop, you'll see these games and dozens more on the shelf. These games pump the idea of violence so much into a kid's head that he doesn't even recognize the difference between real life and a video game. So what I say today is, I don't think we should just stop buying these video games. I think we should have these games banned and even stop the production itself for the sake of children and our kids. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your interesting speech, Fahad. And our next contestant of the day is Ali Abdullah Sbei. May you please proceed to the stage.
Hello gentlemen and good morning. I'm Ali Abdullah Sbei from Abdullah bin Ali Musnad. My topic is, should violent video games be banned? Firstly, let me ask you a question. Did you know how could the violent video games producer, just thinking, the company tried their best to make these violent video games to be true or to be realistic. They use guns, weapons, wars, terrorists, blood. Even they use a really photo and video for crime. Ladies and gentlemen, I will talk about 5 main points. The first one, violent game can create a very unstable and extremely aggressive generation. The second one, violent video games might slightly increase the crime rate. The third one, it can create a very destructive society. And the third one, the last one, can affect and university and college students. Let me start with the third one. It's violent video games. My slide increase the crime rate. As I give you in the definition, that they use a really photo and picture and video for crime in this violent video game. If this is real, the students and all the people playing these games, how is the life? He feel what the other people feel. He do what the killer do. We should ban these video games. For example, in Texas, in America and Texas, there's 80% of people who kill those people. The research says that from the age of from the 10 age to 16, they was playing these violence games and they was watch the violence game. It was real in their life. And let's start with the other point of view can affect a university and college and negatively affected. There is a research they compare between the Harvard University compared between two persons. That the first one was playing the violent video games, and the other one was just playing the educational games. And look what the degree and was the level between the two persons. The level and the degree it's a huge difference between those two persons. It's not just about violence, it's also affect in education. So video games and also affect on the society. And let us start with the third point of view. Do you know how much it costs the violent video games? For example, Sony for PlayStation 4 in 2014, they cost 182 million euro. It's almost 1 billion Qatar riyals. If we use this 1 billion Qatar riyals in other things, to make those people feel, to lead these people to not to have this negatively energy from this violence video games. We should, Burj Khalifa in Dubai, it costs 1 billion. 182 cost those violent games. And look, a lot of facilities, a lot of things that could people, and could all the people, not just the young people or not just the children, people can do it. And also, the university people, if the violent video games affect on the university and college, as the research says, they affect on the university and college students, how it could be with the young people. It will be affected negatively, 100% negatively. And what the other hand says, that the other hand of the society says, it may take all the negatively power and the energy. All the children do it. Is not. It's give them the negatively energy. It's give them the negative energy from these reality video. They give them from these guns, from this blood, from these weapons. How it could be? How could it be? It cannot be taken off. It will get them more and more negatively power from these games. And ladies and gentlemen, after all of these reasons, and all of these people should, the video games should be banned. And thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali, for your interesting speech. And our last contestant of this contest will be Hamad Salama Abu Zaid.